Do you remember all of the Catholic choreography for the upcoming Christmas Mass? If not, that's okay. I thought we could go over a quick refresher today for those peasants who find ourselves in this precarious position of being back in a pew. This is the Posture During Mass PDF from the Diocese of Cleveland. I think this is the most up-to-date. We'll see. First, we enter the church with our families. It's good to pick a fight that then you can pick up again after Mass. When you get to your pew and before you enter it, if there is a tabernacle on view, then you can genuflect before you go in. If there is not a tabernacle, then you can do a profound bow. Already a tricky start, but just kind of see what the other peasants are doing and mirror them. Then everybody sits in the pew until the start of Mass. When you hear the entrance music and the priest starts walking down the aisle, that's when everyone will stand. Then everybody sits for the readings and the responsorial psalm, and everybody stands for the Alleluia chant and the gospel. Then I think it's before the gospel that everyone does a sign of the cross with their thumb on their forehead, over their mouth, and then over their heart. This is already a lot of Catholic choreography. After the gospel, you sit for the homily, and hopefully it's brief. Then you stand for the profession of faith and sit during the preparation of the gifts. And then you stand again during the May the Lord accept this sacrifice, da da da. Then you kneel after the Holy, Holy, Holy until the end of the great Amen. In my mind, I know what that means, but I don't know how to explain it. Then everybody stands for the big Our Father and the sign of peace. Pre-plague, when I was there a lot more, there was a lot of hand-holding and handshaking, and I'm not sure if some of that has changed over the most recent years. Hopefully there's less contact. Maybe if you've been recently, you can let us know in the comments what the protocol is at your church. Because it used to be during the Our Father, if there was someone within 25 feet of you, you would go and hold their hand. Then it is communion time. Usually if it's a long wait until it's your pew's turn, everyone will sit until they stand up to go up to the altar. Talk to your peasants about receiving communion. That's way above my pay grade. But in my experience, if you do not want to receive it, then you can just stay in the pew while everyone else is going up, no problem. Or when you get up to the Eucharistic minister, people will do an X, and that means no, thank you. My other big communion tip is so you leave your pew to go up to the front, but then you have to circle back and you're entering the pew sometimes from the opposite end and you can forget where you were sitting and you're kind of stuck there. So what I started doing was leaving myself a visual cue. So you leave your scarf, you leave your jacket, you leave a book in your pew positioned a certain way that you can recognize it out of the side of your eye, and that way you can go back into your pew easy peasy. When you do make your way back to that pew, you can sit or kneel. Most people kneel. Then there's a prayer at the end of Mass, and everyone stands, and they stay standing until you leave. And when you leave the pew, you can just leave, or you can repeat the genuflect or the bow that you did when you entered. And I know there's going to be slight and big differences between everyone's experience, and I promise that I am the last person who's trying to uphold Catholic tradition, but I thought if you're going to church and it's been a minute, it can be helpful to have this information in your brain. If you're just trying to blend in, get through the day, I understand.